Good evening and thanks for watching Times News with me, Eric Nsigiti. First, the headlines. Prosecutors want Norman Chisale's bail revoked in his attempted murder case. Sustainable Development Goals Acceleration Fund releases 3 billion kwacha towards the fight against COVID-19. And Malawi is to host the Africa Regional Review meeting ahead of the 50th United Nations Conference on Least Developed Countries. We have these plus many other stories. Please do stay with us. In our first story, the state has applied to have the bail for former presidential security aide Norman Chisale revoked in his attempted murder case. But Chisale's lawyer Chance Gondwe says the state is bringing in such an application because they know that their case is losing credibility. Prosecutors argue Chisale has been interfering with their witnesses. He is being accused of attempting to murder a Chimwankunda-based woman, Sigere Amani. Jameson Chauruka has more in this report, read by Gary Samati.
State Prosecutor Birani Masanjala told the court that the state was convinced that Chisale has been contacting state witnesses. Masanjala said the defense is of the view that Chisale was interfering with one of the witnesses in the case. He said the state was supposed to go to the scene of the crime, but did not, when the witness they had lined up for that purpose did not show up. In the twist of events, the witness, Moses Banda, appeared at the court premises, but by that time the case had already adjourned. State investigator Henry Malange also alleged that Banda actually complained to the police that Chisale was interfering with him. In his testimony, Malange said Amani came to police bleeding and was taken a statement before she was taken to Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital for treatment. Malange said he used to visit Amani at the hospital until the day he found out that she had already been discharged from the hospital. He told the court that he later learned that it was Chisale who took Amani to her home village. Defense lawyer Chance Gondwe, however, said the state is bringing such issues because they know that their case is already losing credibility.
Gary Samati ending a report followed by Jameson Chauruga. Malawi Sustainable Development Goals Acceleration Fund has provided 3 billion kwacha towards the fight against COVID-19. Some of the funds will also go towards supporting girls and women cope with the economic effects of the pandemic. The Canadian government has provided the funding, as Matthews Kasanda reports.
According to a press statement that the UN Malawi released on February 16, the fund's steering committee, chaired by Secretary of the Treasury Chance Simwaka and UN resident coordinator Maria Jose Torres, had a meeting on February this year. At the meeting, the committee activated the fund's humanitarian window to help tackle the second wave of COVID-19 in support of the government's response plan. Torres says the 3 billion kwacha support from Canada will support Malawi's response to tackle the pandemic and its adverse socio-economic effects by ensuring that vulnerable groups such as women and girls are not behind in their response.
So we did two things. First, to look into a number of very important joint programs, meaning it's a number of UN agencies, a multiplicity of government entities working at the field level to improve the situation of girls, particularly girls in school, working from the communities up, so a bottom-up approach to build community resilience to climate change, and also starting a very new, exciting project on health systems.
According to the press statement, Simwaka indicated that the programs represent a strategic partnership between Malawi and the UN.
Malawi is from next week hosting a week-long Africa Regional Review meeting ahead of the 50th United Nations Conference on Least Developed Countries. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has since announced Vice President Saulos Chilima will this Wednesday update the nation on progress Malawi has made in preparing for the meeting. Feston Malegezo reports.
The meeting will be presided over by President Lazarus Chakwera in his capacity as chairperson of least developed countries. The meeting, to be held virtually in Malawi, aims at assessing the state of least developed countries, development goals, and discuss on how best they can get back on course. Spokesperson in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Rejoice Shumba, said the meeting is being held in collaboration with the United Nations.
This meeting is very important. The main objective of the meeting is to assess the structural challenges, vulnerabilities, and emerging issues faced by African LDCs in pursuing sustainable development as per the current Istanbul Program of Action.
33 out of 46 least developed countries are located in Africa.
Workers in all 5 water boards under the Water Employees Trade Union of Malawi and government have agreed on a 12.5% salary increment. The union had earlier demanded a 20% salary hike for all employees. Audrey Kapalamula has the latest.
General Secretary for Water Employees Trade Union of Malawi, Ganizani Changachanga, said the union held discussions with the Comptroller of Statutory Operations, authorities from Ministry of Water Development and Treasury, as well as Water Services Association of Malawi. He confirmed that all parties agreed for a 12.5% increment, taking into account several factors, including performance of the water boards and COVID-19.
We demanded 20%. But looking at the factors that government presented and the water board presented again, we went for 12.5%. Of course, there were many factors. Other part was performance for water boards and the COVID pandemic. So we were looking that the COVID pandemic has hit hard our companies. And as the part of union, we need to take part so that these companies perform to their maximum. So we said, okay, we can get 12%, 12.5%.
In January this year, the union wrote the Commissioner for Labor complaining of lack of commitment from the management by the management of all water boards to adjust their salary with 20%. The union lodged the complaint before taking an industrial strike. Secretary for Labor Dickson Chunga advised the union to identify a mediator to settle the matter amicably.
At least 450 children in Nchisi have been withdrawn from child marriages since 2019. A Stop Child Marriages project has also given scholarships for the children to go back to school. Project manager Amos Chibwana says some of the children who can no longer go back to school are being trained in various technical, entrepreneurial and vocational skills. Emmanuel Simpokoro has more in this report, read by Fali Banda.
Chibwana said the Dan Church Aid DCA-funded project is being implemented by a consortium of Evangelical Association of Malawi, EAM, TVETA, and Press Trust. He further said that the project is being designed in a way that Press Trust provide educational scholarships to withdraw children, while TVETA provide vocational skills trainings, with EAM promoting village savings and loan schemes for the participating girls and their families.
Yeah, so far, despite that the exercise is still underway, but 2020 we managed to withdraw over 387 early marriages. In 2019, if we add 2019 and 2020 and 2021 so far, the number is going to shoot up to maybe 450 is going to shoot. Otherwise, we need to finalize the consolidation. Since we have joined with our other partners at the district, so we needed to consolidate the figures so that we can be able to provide so far. But so far, so good. We have managed to hit up the target of the project.
One of the beneficiaries of TVETA training, a 20-year-old Monet Chipeta, who is into welding business, and said she's now able to find whatever she needs for herself and her child. The storm project started in 2019 and is expected to end this year in March in all the 70 areas of Mchisi district.
We'll be back with more news after this break.